Hello, everyone. Again, welcome. We still have with us today Miguel from Block Native. He will continue the lesson regarding the introduction to blockchain, and he will introduce some use cases which he will go into detail and to explain everything from a business perspective. So thank you, Miguel. Please go ahead. I leave the floor to you.
Okay, hi everyone. It's a pleasure to continue giving you details of introduction of blockchain. Okay, we are gonna start doing, if it's okay for you guys, a little bit recap or where we are. As we were saying in the first part, we were doing the introduction and more introducing part of understanding the main concepts of how blockchain is working. And now I'm going to focus on the business real case that I've been facing during my last 3 years in my company. And like this, I think it's a very nice opportunity to you to understand real use cases that is being working on the world. Also, only to let you know, we will go through around a solution in order to let you know how our clients are working with their solutions in terms to keep their traceability of the different process or products. Okay, a little bit what have we seen so far? Okay, we saw a definition of the blockchain. I gave you the example of the wedding. I hope it was clear and easy to understand. We also saw the different type of network that we had. If you remember, we have those public ones, private, hybrid, or the consumption one. Also, all the different capabilities and benefits. That is a database secure, is easy to combine with other technologies, which had to digitalize process and increase security. It's very important, this part of those capabilities of the blockchain, because you will find during your career, your professional career, a lot of use cases, that you will need to understand how blockchain and, for example, a technology as the artificial intelligence can work together to really help company or to really understand which are the value in these use cases. Okay. Also, I show you how a participant can connect. That you have 3 different ways. They could have their peer. They could connect only with an API. Also, I try to give you a little bit of snapshot of how blockchain is being used in the world right now. We were seeing all those ICO and exchange cryptos. We were seeing also the NFTs, and all the part that we are going to focus right now is all those B2B and B2B use cases. Okay, and as I'm saying on the following slide, I tried to give you around 8 use cases, real use cases that we have been performing during the last years. Completely different use cases. I try to look for different use cases in order to let you know how wide the blockchain technology can be and can help company in order to automatize. Okay, first of all, consent management. Consent management is something that we have done in Europe because we have a GDPR law very strict. GDPR law is that law, I don't know if you know that the law, but it's saying that you have to be very careful with the data that you are moving of your clients, and all the data that you are selling or you are moving across the industry has to be consent. You have to have the consent of the client in order to do it. Okay. Then in Europe, in May 2018, there was a new regulation relating, as I was saying, the GDPR. And this caused that a lot of instance processes, current process that the companies they were selling data across the market, they had to stop it, or they have to start doing in a different way. The first way is, okay, if I want to move the data from my client across a group company, because it's not only a different company, it also can be a company inside your group, but because it's a group and that's all different companies, you need to have the traceability of all the data, where you have been done with the data. You need to be capable of maintaining the traceability and to put the evidence that all those data have been moving across the company with and along with the consent management of your client. Okay, why we think blockchain it was a very good solution. It is true that there is a controversial discussion on the different articles that you would be able to find on the newspapers, saying that blockchain and GDPR is something that cannot be together. But this is completely untrue. We demonstrate to the world in Europe that with the blockchain technology, you had different options to do things, different processes, where you are able to really keep the trace, to really being able to move the data of your client according to the consent management. And this is why blockchain, we decided to use it, and also because it was, I was saying, is the unique technology at the moment that allowed all the interaction between several participants, okay? This kind of solution or this kind of consent management, as you can imagine in the industry, is a very cross-sector industry, because you have you have consent, you give consent to the bank, you give consent to the insurance, you give consent to the retail sector. Then for that, we created a data interoperability platform that allowed to complete this data, okay? As I was saying, you were able to keep the data, to take the data from an online path, for example. You centralize the data, and every time you centralize all the different consent that the client was giving to you, and every time you were using this data, this platform is giving you the permission or not the permission to take the data from your customer in order to do a specific action. For example, you are a company, a banking sector. You are taking your consent from your client because they are having their bank account and they're having a lot of financial product with you hire. Then you can have some consent according to the private policy that the company have set up, and you hire a call center, a marketing company that is going to take those data in order to offer a new product or cross-selling product. For example, imagine a group that is able to have a bank and insurance and a lot of different products. Then the call center is a third party. They will go through the data, they will go through the platform, they will say to the platform, okay, I want to do this kind of action. Then the solution will let them know that, okay, according to the proposal and all the privacy policy that you have set up, from all my database of clients, you are only able to take those 100 customers, and you are not allowed to take those other 200 customers. If you take them, okay, this is only like a query, doesn't matter, but in the query you will have the traceability that someone has already do it and have already require it. And later on, if you contact one of the 200 pool, that customer pool, and some of those 200 clients will suit you, you will have a problem, because you will have the traceability that you were informed that you weren't able to do that. But on the other hand, if you take only the 100 customers, you will be able to take those data to do an action, a commercial action, to sell them cross-selling, because they allow you to, according to the consent management that they gave you on the first step. That helps you to centralize all the different consent given by a person and not to have diversify in a lot of different applications. For a small company, it's something very easy, But for big companies that maybe they can have thousand different applications, for example, imagine a bank, they can have different consent all across the different applications, is quite a nightmare. This kind of technology and solution, they will help you to have those traceability of the data each time that someone is taking it and using in order to do an action. They will give you different evidence and immutable evidence from that something has been happening. There is a lot of reduction in time because at the moment, how companies work is, for example, the marketing company will call the client and they will say, okay, we are going to perform this action, this commercial action. Please, can you send me those customers that I can contact? Then the client, the marketing, for example, department of the client, they will go to their data department and say, okay, guys, I need an extract from the database of this kind of customers. As you can see, there is a lot of steps that with this a solution in the blockchain, we can avoid. That, of course, will help you to reduce, is a reduction in both, no, in the execution time, as I was saying, and in reduction time in terms of the injury, customer loyalty due to the speed of the resolution, because according to the law in Europe, you are able to ask, for example, I can send an email to Google right now, and I can ask them, how Google, I would like to have all the information that you have from me. And Google, it has 30 days to answer you, or by email or by post, to answer you with all the information that he has from you, all the GPS information, all the login information, whatever information that they can be identified with my name and last name and ID, they must give it to me. If they don't give it to me, they are not compliant with the GDPR law, then they can have some fine if I sue them in the specific regulation or government place. This is in general, and here in Spain we did it, as you can see here, the process. When someone is having a car accident, he is giving his consent in order that the hospital, and not only the hospital, but all the different participants that are taking part on the process, they are, for example, a lawyer, for example, a physiotherapist, for example, these companies, they are in charge to calculate which can be the refund that they have to give you, the different insurance. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of different participants, and there is a specific guy that they had an accident. He has an accident, and he will give the consent to the process that all those participants are able to take his data and to manipulate it in order to give him a service. Okay. Then at that case, there is in the middle a company where he decided to start with a solution like this in blockchain, and with all the different participants, they were taking the data from the application system, and the KPIs that we saw in this process was 90% of reduction of time in the process. They were able to do the process from normally a 10-day process to do from a one day and a half, because there were some steps of the process that they needed to be manually. Also, we were able to see a 50% reduction in cost in terms of employees, in terms of time, the time reduction, and this time reduction we calculated in how much cost can I reduce, mainly due to the technology. Okay, then this is a very unusual use case, but from my point of view, very interesting, because it's a real use case that you can find in the real world. For example, if you have been through the newspapers in the last month, you have some fine to Meta. In Spain, they have been some sanctions to different banks. Then it's something that it's a solution that with blockchain, you can help companies to keep the traceability and to be more transparent, not only with your customer, that is something very important, but also with the different regulators and third parties. Okay, that was the consent management. Now I'm going to go through the B2B onboarding or B2C onboarding, okay? For that, we had a specific process where we needed to reduce all the time dedicated to the onboarding with all the collaborators and suppliers. They were allowed to start working with the bank, with a specific bank, okay? Then the need was to start to obtain a B2B digital onboarding that they will allow significantly reduce in the timing with all this onboarding process. And they were being able to automatize those processes and payments according to the flows. Along my explanation, you will see that blockchain there is coming. The main onboarding is not done with the blockchain part, but I want to show you that blockchain, as I was saying, blockchain is capable to do a lot of things, but at the moment, the market is using it as a 20, 30, no more than 40% of all the capabilities of blockchain is performing. We were seeing the consent management, and in the onboarding process, all the different automation through the onboarding process, how we were checking the data, how we were doing a biometric identification of all the customer or suppliers, how we will connect it, for example, the solution with different international lists, for example, terrorist lists or fraud lists or something like this, in order to allow you that, okay, this company is having some issues, for example, in the States, then you can take those data and I will give you a notification, okay, an alert, be careful with this kind of company if you are going to start working with them. Or we will have to have in centralized way all those documentation and in a very easy way. And we will keep also the opportunity to the clients to give a digital signature of the process. As you can see here, in all this process, you don't use blockchain. But why I'm using blockchain? Because I'm trying to certify every step that is working during the process, okay? When the guy is giving me the data, I will certify. I know this is only a small part of the capabilities of the blockchain that we are using, but it's a very important one, because if someday we have a dispute with our suppliers or our customers, or in order to demonstrate, everything will be certified. Then the idea is to go through a specific process of onboarding, and each step will be certified in the blockchain. And later on, when I have done the first step, the blockchain will come up and we will start doing, and we will start creating a lot of automation due to the smart contract behind all the process that will allow us to automate. Then that's why in that case of the onboarding, it's a very interesting part to use blockchain. Why we were using blockchain, as I was saying, because it allows us the automation of continuous process to the principal through to the creation of a smart contract. For example, when I was able to do all the different process of the onboarding, and this supplier, he has been already working with me. This case was, imagine a bank, a consumer bank, and he's asking a lot of, we call it in the banking sector, we call it the merchant. Merchant are those kind of companies, for example, Decathlon, or those companies that are selling different goods, or supermarket as Carrefour, and they want to work with this bank in order to finance their customers when they are buying some product. Then the idea at that moment, this bank, they were spending 23 days only on the onboarding process, according to all the information that they have to ask for. The client has to send information, someone has to review it, someone has to do a risk analysis, someone has to go through those international lists to say if this kind of client it's good to have to work with or not. Then we were digitalizing automation this process, but when everything is done and the contract has been signed, with the smart contract, we were doing the automation of the payments. For example, if you had a clause saying that Carrefour was able to finance 100 washing machines during the next quarter, automatically you will have a smart contract that will send an order to the payment application saying, okay, send a payment to Carrefour with a discount of whatever the clause was said on the contract, and those smart contracts will automatize all those processes, the following processes, when you have had the data already certified. Okay. In that case, this is very interesting for the financial sector because according to our experience, these kind of sectors and these kind of processes, they are very manually. Then we had them to reduce significantly the time of onboarding process. In that case, this bank was, they were doing a 23 days process, and we reduced it to 1 day, and only with the part without the blockchain, and a part to be everything certified, and later on with the smart contract, everything was significantly automated. Then those benefits, as I was saying, was the creation of those smart contracts that was helping to digitalize the process of the financial intermediaries, because it's not only the payment, it could be the payment, it could be, I don't know, a lot of different notifications. It could be depending on the needs, you will perform a different smart contract. As I was explaining you before on the first part of the lesson, and a smart contract is a code that we are programming on the block, and this code, they will have the different clauses of what has to happen according of the evidence that this has been done. Okay. Then also this case, as a benefit, they helps the bank to increase the volume of operations, okay, during the year, because they were able to start reducing the onboarding process and to avoid all those manually processed. Then if during the quarter they were able to onboard 3, 4, 5 different merchants, with this kind of process, they were able to multiply this merchant by 3 or 4 to have them to complete automation of all the onboarding process. In addition, in this project, a specific project, we decided to have them also with the consent management, as I explained before, because you are taking a lot of data in the biometric identification in the data form. You are taking a lot of information, personal information about the company and all those persons in charge of the company. Then it was very important to also to keep their consent, the traceability of the consent, in order to be compliant with the law that I have explained before. And every time that a data was moving, every step of the process, we were able to understand where we were at in real time, and we kept all those traceability of the process and all the traceability of the different payments, all the traceability of the different number of selling product that the different merchant has performed. Then we were able to reconcile the main core process of with the merchant in real time, because in real time you already knew how many washing machines they have sent, how many money have you paid to them, and everything would be reconciled. And for this, for the finance department, was something very amazing, because they They reduce a lot of time in the reconciliation process between the back office, the operation, and all the payments and invoices that they have to send according to their initial contract. And they, in some of the contract, they didn't need to go through the contract because it was the different clause they were already performing the blockchain in the smart contract, okay? This is the second use case. As you can see, completely different. This is a snapshot of what we were creating to them, you know, a solution where you have the customized form, the biometric, as I was saying, customized validation with their connection. This is very interesting because you can do with APIs, you can digitalize a lot of, for example, in a mortgage loan, that you have some ratio that you have to accomplish according to the law in terms of loan to value or debt ratio, then it will help you that the client will be able to hire some digital product 100% digital without the needs of a manually operation. Okay, now I'm going to jump to a specific case that it's very interesting, and it's more a blockchain case that you guys will have in mind. It's inside within the supply chain process, the logistic reversal. Okay, we had the opportunity to help a company, a distributor. In this case is done in Mexico. It's a distribution of a pharma sector. We were able to help them to keep the traceability of the reverse logistic that allows them to control the returns to be obtained in real time. Okay, what was their problematic, their business issue that they had? In that case, in Mexico, there are around 400, 500 different laboratories. There are 4 distribution companies, and there are around 30 or 40,000 pharmacies, okay, final client. Normally, this kind of sector, the distributor, they buy different stock to the labs, and they will give it to the pharmacy according to the purchase order that they receive in their system. The problem was that because they do not have the traceability of a connection, a link between the purchase order and the reversal product that they were coming from the pharmacy, when they wanted to understand, okay, this product that someone has returned to me, first of all, do I know if this product is coming from my company? Yes or no? They didn't know because they didn't have this traceability. Then when they realized that, and when they were able to reconcile all the process, they were spending around 3 and 4 weeks for each product. That means that they weren't able to put this product again in the market if they have to, or to decide to do a different action. This issue, currently, they were performing losses in the sector around $66 million, okay? And that was mainly due to the poor traceability that they were existing between the logistic of the medicine from the departure from the labs to the final clients. And in addition, it's important that the traceability to the end customer wasn't not available. Then another issue was, okay, because you weren't able to reconcile what was happening, that a lot of pharmacy, when they wanted to return, they don't mind if the process was coming, for example, from a specific distributor, that they will return to whatever distributor they would like. Then some distributors, they were facing an issue that they were selling, for example, 10 products, but they were the pharmacy, they were returning to them 20 products. Then there is a waste of money there for the distributor. Why blockchain here is very interesting, no? Because in that case, blockchain is 100% suitable for this kind of use case, because you have all the different things that you need to use as a blockchain use case, as we were seeing on the first lesson. We have a lot of participants, and we have something to trace, and we need a system which will be connected between all the different systems that will give us all those traceability. The problem in this kind of companies that they believe that they have those traceability because they're using a system as SIP, and SIP is a very strong system. I agree with that. But sometimes when you want to show those data to third parties, or you want to connect those different systems as SIP, they have some issues. For example, can be because it's too expensive. You need to, and you don't want to give access to your SIP, for example, to a third party. And also because you don't have, for example, maybe you don't have those applications connected to those SIP in order that, for example, a truck will give you in real time those GPS evidence. Then this kind of technology for this kind of use cases, it's perfect because it will give you all the reconciliation in real time, because you will have the traceability end to end from the first step when you are doing the purchase order to the lab, when you receive it in your stock, and when you are receiving a purchase order from the pharmacy, and you are selling it to the pharmacy. And if you want to return to you, it won't be a problem, because you will already have the traceability, not only of a big box of medicine, but of each medicine that will be inside this box. Then if someone wants to give you, return you those products, you will be able to really understand all the information that you think that is very interesting and give you a lot of value. That can be the data, the date of when I sell it, which was the specific product, which was the due date of the product, because as you can imagine, some of the products in the pharmacy sector, they have a very long due date, but some of them, the due date is very shortly. And also in that use case, we were using the price. We were putting the price because the price of the product can change. And if someone wants to return you, for example, and if the price has increased 20% during the last 6 months, he will try to ask you for a 20% more of the price that he bought it. And maybe not because he wants to make you a little bit of fraud, it's because they don't really know which was the price they bought it, because they don't have the traceability. Then they will see the current price of the product and they will ask for it. And with this kind of technology, because you will have an evidence of which was the exactly price at the specific time when you did the purchase order, in real time, you can say to the guy, okay, sorry, this 20% increase, you are not allowed to receive it because you bought it in the region. And in the region, the price, as you can see here in the blockchain, it was blah, blah, blah. As I was saying, and also the good thing of this technology for this kind of solution is because you will have those traceability end to end, everything will be easy to digitalize, or everything will be digitalized, and everything will be very auditable. It will be very prepared in order to be audited from a third party. That can be internal audit, or can be those third-party audit organization that you need to pass in order to receive some certifications, or you need to, for example, to present your annual account. Okay, those financial audits, sometimes they are also taking care of the stock, and they are reviewing the stock, because it's the calculation of the stock, they will impact on the balance sheet and the P&L of the year. Then that will help you to show them in real time in a very immutable platform that everything that you have performed, it's in a specific way, and the data that is coming to the working capital and those balance and P&L is coming from this platform, this calculation, and you can see that it's trusted. For this kind of solutions that we will see on the next slide, we perform a solution that I will show you later, the real solution, in order to give you a little bit of perspective of how these solutions are working. A solution that it allows you to define a process or a different product. In that case, we were doing product. Later on, we will see some cases with processes where you will have to define which are the different milestones that has to be carried. And you have to decide and to configure it between agreement within all the participants, which will be the evidence that you have to certify in the blockchain. And finally, you will have to configure it which are the participants or the actors or the machine or the system information who is going to be responsible to certify the evidence. And that's one of the reasons you can connect with different technology. For example, if you need that some evidence are coming from IoT, you will connect those solutions with the IoT, and those solutions will register the evidence on the blockchain. And something very important that we were discussing before with the SIP is a solution that allows you to integrate a lot of participants during the process. And finally, with a QR code, you can show those processes to a third party. And as I was saying before, this is a specific thing that they are doing, a specific use case that they are performing now. However, this is only maybe 30–40% of the capabilities of the blockchain. When you already have this data 100% trusted, and you have the traceability along all the different milestones and participants, you will be able to start performing some smart contract to do additional automation and to connect with AI to start being able to take some business decisions in real time. The main important thing here is that the blockchain, it's happening in real time, that it gives you the possibility to have data in real time. And this is that it makes something wonderful, because you are able to have data trusted between all the different companies, in that case, from the lab to the distributor and to the pharmacy. And you know that everything that's been happening during the process is 100% trusted and confirmed by each participant. The benefit in this specific use case, it was, of course, the end-to-end traceability of the process. They were able to control and to mitigate bad practices. They were able to significantly reduce the annual losses generated by all the different returns that they were performing. They reduced the price dispute, because, as I was saying, they had the price evidence from the origin. They were able to obtain information that allows them to generate synergies and agreement with those ecosystems, because those participants as pharmacy, they are starting working with them and helping them to identify and to give them the data of the traceability of when they have been received the package, and when they want to return it there, and they are reducing these losses. And in this real case, those pharmacies nowadays, they are receiving incentives of reduction of prices or different events in order to keep them more loyal, to have a more loyal participation with them. Okay, this is another. Now we are going through another use case that is similar. Okay, it's a supply chain. As you will see, the most easy use case with the blockchain will be everything related to the supply chain. Is the most common use case. This is a client that he wanted to have the traceability of the products from the purchase order to the delivery. They are receiving from their suppliers, is a group of companies that they are receiving purchase order from all across the world, from Europe, from China, from the States. They are based in Spain, but they are receiving a lot of purchase order. And they want to buy the different, they will take the product from, for example, from Switzerland, and they will give it to Africa, okay? To specifically to a city that is called Malabo. Then in this client, the idea is to be able to trace all the different containers that they are moving all across from Europe to Africa. But little by little, they are thinking to increase the capabilities to really understand how efficient is their process, if they are performing the process in the best way, how long they want to understand. They want to understand not only the traceability to understand where is exactly the container, but because you will have all those data, you will be able to see and to understand how long does it take to you to move all the containers from one country to another. And because you will have those data certified in terms of time, for example, you will be able to identify inefficiencies that this has been in the process. Then you can correct and you can take decision maker. You will be able also to automatize the different routes that they are taking at the moment. You will connect, of course, as all those data with different technology will be able to automatize. And also, you will able to automatize all the stock from the all the stock that they have, because you can have in real time all the different data coming through all the process. As I was saying, the benefits in that sense was as the comprehensive and end-to-end traceability of the purchasing and logistic process from the moment to the product leave from their own or external warehouses until the arrival to the port, the specific port. And in the second project that they're going to start doing is, okay, at the moment I only want to have the traceability until the goods are arriving to the port, but they're going to increase it in order to be more efficient, in order to have more data from, as we call the last mile, is when the products are arriving to the port and it's arriving to the final client. As we were saying, they will give them a 360 view of the process. They will give them also the capability for the CFO to have less time to spend in terms of reconciliation, and they can start spending time in the strategy process, the strategy decision of the company. Every good will be certified in real time from the start they were being ordered from to the delivery. As I was saying, something very important, real-time reconciliation, because you will be able each time to understand, okay, someone has ordered those goods and I know where they are, and is there any issue, for example, the goods has been lost during the process or it has been damaged, because in every milestone, for example, one of the evidence can be a picture of the quality of the goods. If they are arriving 100% as they were sent it from the origin, then you can detect if something was happening during the trip, for example, during the truck or a container that it was traveling on the sea. Also, it has been a decrease in a lot of losses of the product as wasting damages. As I was saying, they were able to reduce and to be more efficient their stock warehouse. And of course, all those use cases, they have in common that you are reducing the time and cost saving in the operation, okay? Because as we were saying, nowadays a lot of things are doing by email or with some with a lot of kind of process here that they are using EDI. I don't know if do you know what is exactly EDI? EDI is a specific mechanisms where you can do a purchase order with your supplier. But one thing that blockchain is, well, EDI, I'm not gonna say it's worse than blockchain, but blockchain is helping, is the next generation, okay? Because why I'm saying that? Blockchain is helping you to be more agile. The ADI is a purchase order very in a structured way and a structured information, and with the blockchain you are able to be more agile, and if it's something happening during the process, you can change in real time.